right? So today we want to look at client retention, right? And what are the best practices in retaining our clients? Because we are winning a lot of clients, but we also have to learn how to retain our clients in a very structured way, right? So for the last 2 hours, we discussed all kinds of strategies, and we have summarized them, under this heading of client retention. Let me just make it slightly bigger so that you guys are able to see it much more clearer. So under the client retention toolkit, we came up with a number of strategies. I'll just go through quickly one by one. The number one strategy for retaining your clients is a no-brainer, right? It is basically to deliver results. If you deliver results, there is nobody who can ever take that. Even the client wants to take it away from you, then it's really making it difficult for the client to take it away. So focus on delivering the results. That is the number one way to retain any client. Even if you are able to deliver the results a little late, that's okay, but delivering results should be your number one priority. But I want to the whole world. I took the example of companies like like we talked about IBM, Infosys, Accenture, so many companies, right, in IT, right? And we saw their revenues were growing, exponentially every month and every quarter, right? But if you come and see, the statistics on that, what percentage of IT projects fail in 2022? They say statistically that more than 70% of them fail, right? But actually speaking, it's not. I don't agree with this number entirely. It's not like all of them fail. Most of them fail because they fail to meet the project budget and project time, right? And that's the reality of life. And despite them failing to meet the project time and this thing, the companies have done really well for themselves, to keep the client, to win their confidence, and to to keep growing with their client and never letting their client go from them, right? So what strategies that these clients have used in order to retain their clients, not only retain but also grow with them despite 70% of projects not meeting project deadlines and project budgets, right? Let's go back and look at what is that. I think this one in number 2 is a single biggest reason why clients stay with you. Single biggest. Doesn't matter which industry, which what kind of job, it really doesn't matter. If you and your team make sure that the client feel that you are doing everything in your hands for their success. Creating trust doesn't cover everything, but it sort of creates trust, right? The client trust that you and your team are doing everything in your hands for their success. And this, my dear friends, is the number one strategy. In fact, I would argue it's not even delivering results that retains your client. Sometimes you deliver results and you act arrogant, you get thrown away, right? I don't want to give examples of such things. I've seen in my life many companies deliver results, but they act arrogant. They say that we know everything, we can deliver the results. But even if you deliver results, you will lose your client, right? If you don't have the humility to showcase that you are with the client, whether it's bad time, good time, any time, you are always working for the success of your client, right? I think that is the single biggest reason why clients stay with you, right? I know I've said delivering results is the number one way to retain client, but honestly, in most of the industries, it's not. This is a very, very difficult thing to achieve. And even when you achieve this, you have to make sure that your client feel this way, right? Otherwise, you get thrown out anyways. So if this is the second thing, and you're already done that, your client trusts you that you're doing everything in your hands, right? The third most important thing I would say is that you go in front of your client and proactively communicate and analyze where and why we are failing as a team. Don't point fingers. Don't tell your clients that, we are failing because, you gave us a bad strategy, you gave us a bad message, you gave us a bad target audience. No, we are in this together. So, you say, this is why we are failing. And remember, the key to this third one is proactive, being proactive, right? If you are reactive, if your client communicates with you and tells you why you're failing, then you're done, right? Then you're done. You have to race and win in terms of who is going to communicate first that this is not going in the right direction. This is an art, but this alone can, save you from huge trouble. You look like a hero if you proactively communicate, and you will look like a villain if the exact same words are spoken by your client and you're at fault. And this is the world, right? So that's the thing, right? Proactively communicate where and why we are failing. Right? Okay, we have done that. Now what next? Obviously, get in touch with your client, set up meetings, course correct the problems. You can change the entire strategy, or you can change just the target audience. You can change messages. You can do whatever you want to do by taking feedback from your clients to correct all the problems that is, impeding your, success, right? That's the fourth one. Now, let's say you've done that, and, remember, these things are the core, right? There is no other thing. You have to do these four things. This is your core strategy of getting results, right? Everything that we're going to do is an experiment after this, right? So don't forget your core and focus on experiments, right? You always do your core every day, right? And then let's look at number 5 and number 6 and everything, right? Number 5 is we have introduced dynamic hunting for ourselves. We have not introduced dynamic hunting for our clients yet, but it's a good time for you to start a discussion about, dynamic hunting and see if it make a huge difference to your clients, right? What is dynamic hunting? It's the ability to choose the target audience on your home feed or using a search. Basically, we are looking for a target audience who have just now posted something on LinkedIn, right? I think this is not the right time to educate what is dynamic hunting. There is a massive thing, this entire thing is based on, dynamic hunting. Go through this one. What we are doing as a dynamic hunting, how do we identify dynamically the, things? How do we do dynamic messaging, etc.? Everything is there over there, right? Now let's come back to this one. Introduce dynamic hunting and see how it would make a difference. And don't stop with that. This is an experiment, okay? This experiment can very well fail. If you fail, then you have a validated learning. If it succeeds, then you have a validated learning, right? That this is a great way. You can even, use this and completely drop your core, right? Because this experiment is succeeded better than the standard approach that you have over here, right? So that's the 5th one, right? Introducing dynamic hunting. Now, after you've done all these things, right? This is also extremely important, right? Come up with new and innovative ideas that will add value to your client, if needed, every day or every week or every month, and this list is just a bunch of things that we just, brainstormed, in a few minutes, right? We can create another 20 more points. What are these points, right? We can suggest, recommend, and execute improvements on your client profile. Maybe create a client banner. Maybe create a new client title. Maybe ask the client to come up with a much more high definition picture, right? Maybe add a bunch of skills on your client. Maybe add a bunch of projects for your client. Maybe add a better about or an experience. Maybe post a lot of videos, in your client's profile, right? So you can think of 1,000 different things to improve your client's profile on LinkedIn, right? Because this is your client's social proof, right? If your client's social proof is not good, then you're not going to get results, right? So work on that. Then also, don't let your client, even if they have signed up only to generate revenue, work for them and create at least 3 posts on thought leadership and post them and feature them on your client profile, right? That is B and C. Try and create 1 thought leadership blog for your client using the most important words that really matter to him or her, and publish it and post it, right? Always talk with your client, but don't take permission. Do it, and then go and send it to your client for approval, right? Don't keep thinking, oh, my client is not going to give me permission to write a blog or this thing. No, just do it. Just write it and send it to him for approval. And if he rejects it, then that's his problem. We have done our job, right? And finally, we talked about a way to dynamically engage on behalf of your client by liking, commenting, and also, posting, based on the content that your client's target audience is posting on LinkedIn and Twitter and everywhere else, right? And this is slightly different from dynamic hunting. So dynamic hunting is messaging in a dynamic way. Dynamic engagement is liking and commenting and posting on your target audience's post, right? Dynamic engagement happens in the public domain. Dynamic hunting happens in the private domain, because dynamic hunting is all about private messaging, right? Dynamic engagement is all about putting things in public. If you like somebody's post, it's going to be public. Everybody will know it. If you comment on somebody's post, everybody will know it. But if you dynamically message somebody, nobody will ever know it, right? So I hope you can understand the difference between point number 5 and point number 6E, right? What is the difference between the two things? In fact, this one, the dynamic engagement, I'm going to take it away from this, because this is not a small innovative point. It is a big point, right? So I'm going to say introduce, right? So introduce dynamic hunting. And see if it, dynamic hunting, and I'm going to call it, private space, and introduce dynamic engagement. Obviously, everything we do is on behalf of our clients. I'm going to remove this, and this is public. Remember the difference between private conversations and public conversations. Hopefully, this is clear. The client retention toolkit and what we're talking about is very clear. Go through this. If you have any questions, push it on the WhatsApp channel. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I will